The symposium actually really, I think, celebrates what we've all been talking about here today, and that is kind of the integration, the needed integration of private sector, government, academia, venture capitalists, right, in moving forward what should be U.S. and is U.S. space superiority. So the symposium is the brainchild of those of us at Purdue, along with Brigadier General Kristen Panzenhagen of Space Force, who is a Purdue alumnus. And a steering committee that consists of other Purdue alum from Lockheed Martin and other colleagues on campus. And what we aim to do is each year take a theme that is a priority issue for Space Force. So this year, the theme is around space debris, mitigating national security risks of space debris. And so you'll see if you go to, if you Google the Space Policy, Science and Technology Symposium at Purdue, you will see the all-star lineup of speakers. But importantly, this symposium is output-driven.
Hello and welcome to T-Minus Space Daily, coming at you from Commercial Space Week in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Maria Varmazis, and I have two very special guests with me today. I was saying, I'm pinching myself. I get to talk to two folks from Purdue University. I'm going to let you two introduce yourselves. Stacey, you want to go first?
Sure, happy to, Maria. I'm Stacey Connaughton, the director of the Purdue Policy Research Institute, and on behalf of our whole team here, thank you so much for having us on today. We're delighted to talk with you about what's happening at Purdue.
I cannot wait to find out more. Honestly, this is high school me's dream come true. So, Jon, over to you. I'm getting a little verklempt. Go ahead, Jon.
Yes, my name is Jon Ferency. I lead economic development for the Purdue Research Foundation, and our goal and mission is to advance the mission of Purdue University.
Well, let's get into that, and let's do that today. So we are at SpaceCom, and y'all are here. To me, it makes a whole ton of sense. Again, Purdue's name is so well spoken of, so well known in the space industry. But I'm curious, from your perspective, why are you here?
Absolutely. Well, we are here to touch base with our many, many alum who are here. As you know, we are known as the Cradle of Astronauts. We are now up to 30 astronauts. In fact, I heard a statistic that I think maybe it's about 1/3 of U.S. space flights have had a Purdue grad on.
Does not surprise me at all.
I find it remarkable. But knowing our students, I believe it 100%. And our student body is incredible. And so we're here to celebrate that legacy. We're here to celebrate not only the legacy, but what we have coming up in the future. And one of those very exciting things related to space is that we have a Virgin Atlantic flight that will be going up within the next year that is an all Purdue crew.
Wow.
Led by Professor Stephen Connaughton, who's a professor in our College of Engineering at Purdue. So a lot of good things. And in addition, as we'll talk about today, we're here to interact with colleagues in the space domain who share our love of research, of economic development in the domain, and in training the next generation of space scientists, engineers, and professionals.
Oh, it's wonderful. Is there anything you want to add to that, Jon?
No, I'm just really here to meet with industry partners. We work with some of these industry partners in other areas, other facets of engineering and science. So we're here really just to explore how to expand that vertical of space with what we're trying to initiate with the university.
Yeah, I'd love to know, who are you looking to meet with specifically? I mean, you're not naming names, but just like the types of organizations that you're looking to interface with.
Well, we have a wide breadth of expertise in the space vertical. So we're looking to partner with all those companies that are trying to innovate and advance their business in their industries. Because what Purdue University really stands for is national security and national defense. Northern University has the focus on that as much as we do. So we work with companies all across the spectrum, nationally and internationally, to advance that security of our warfighter and of our nations. So all the companies that have any innovative products, we would love to incorporate them into what we do to add value to their business. We've got over 58,000 students, 35,000 are STEM students. So across the board, we have over 500 research centers on campus. Some of those are one faculty and one research grad student, but some of them, like Zucker, has over 400 postdocs and researchers working for them. So we're able to apply our expertise to many, many companies. So it's just exciting for us to be able to add value to startups or existing bellwethers of companies.
Absolutely, yeah. Y'all are a research powerhouse. It's quite incredible what we cover on the show. Pretty much every other story is coming out of Purdue. It's just amazing. Sorry, you all know this better than I do. I'll stop. But I'd love to hear a little bit about your thoughts on the economic development, like regional economic development, but also workforce development. Again, you both touched on it a little bit, but it sounds like there's some specific goals you're trying to achieve here. So
yeah, I can easily speak about the economic development. So what we have done in the state of Indiana is create a hard tech corridor from West Lafayette, Indiana, down to Indianapolis, and then further south to Crane, which is the NSWC, which is the Naval Surface Warfare Center in Crane, Indiana. We actually have a facility there, and I manage that facility so that we can be a strong collaborator between the Navy and the university, and then all the corporate partners that are involved in Purdue and in Crane. So with that hard tech corridor, we are supporting the warfighter. All warfighters, but because of the Navy aspect, we really focus on the naval warfighter and the Army because our president is a colonel in the Army National Guard. So we have a real strong tie to hard tech. And that's with missiles and other defense systems. So what we're now is really just lifting that ceiling and going into space. So we are working on systems for space, hard tech, such as the robotic arms we see across the hall over there. And then advancing that from an innovative perspective. We're going to do pharmaceutical manufacturing in space. We're going to have orbital space around the moon to reach outer limits to Mars. So we're going to create a ecosystem around the moon so that then we can launch to Mars from there. So all that manufacturing aspect, because we helped create Manufacturing 4.0 a few years ago. So now, again, just raising that ceiling from Earth out into space, again, with that strong focus on national security and national defense.
Excellent. Anything you want to add?
Yeah,
go ahead.
So in everything that Jon said, I echo strongly. One of the things we are so proud of is that in 2021, I believe it was, Jon, our then President Mitch Daniels entered into one of the first MOUs with the U.S. Space Force.
Oh, wow.
Right, or in the partnership. And so, we are dedicated, right, to serving Guardians and to collaborating with Guardians all along the way, and we'll be happy to share with you so many specific examples of that as well. One just kind of off the top of Purdue Today's news.
Oh, there you go.
This
Breaking
is not
news.
directly related to Guardians, but I think speaks to what Jon was talking about in space manufacturing, and this is something we'll be covering at our upcoming symposium. But it says Purdue is expanding the scientific footprint of 2027's all boiler Maker suborbital flight mission with the addition of onboard autonomous experiments in quantum technology and in-space chip manufacturing. And that's coming out of...
Wow.
I mean, it is extraordinary. Our colleague A.J. Malsha is leading that effort along with many others. And importantly, students. So at Purdue, you will find, if you're an undergraduate, a graduate student working in those spaces, you're integrated into all of this fantastic research and innovation. That's extraordinary. I mean, some of our students, as you alluded to earlier when we were talking, have been involved in robotics kinds of efforts that can lead to controlled landings, right, in space. And as a young person, I mean, it's got to be extraordinary to be involved in kind of the shape of the U.S. technological future.
And I interviewed someone whose name I can't remember at the top of my head, but I remember. I was speaking to them about research that they had done, and they were saying at Purdue as an undergrad. And I remember going, "You did that as an undergrad?"
No, absolutely.
I was a little jealous.
Absolutely.
Like, that's amazing.
And we have the world's largest academic propulsion laboratory. And we have the world's largest academic clean room at class 1, which is unheard of in university space. So from the chip manufacturing, from design through fabrication through usage, we can offer that to undergrads. And then also from the propulsion perspective, again, that's where we have over 400 researchers, and those students are the cream of the crop and get jobs with every major prime that's involved in anything from engine manufacturing. We also, on our campus, as Rolls-Royce, have 3 major manufacturing facilities on our campus. Saab has a facility where they're creating the fuselage for the new Air Force trainer on our campus. So it's just a phenomenal, and they're right next to Zucrow Laboratories, which is that world's largest propulsion laboratory.
That's remarkable. And I wanted to also ask about, so we were talking a bit about the hard manufacturing, the corridor, right? But also more broadly about the space industry, how you all interface with the space industry, which again feels like one of those extremely obvious things because like you guys are everywhere. But tell me about that, seriously. That would be great.
Well, we have the first man on the moon and the most recent man on the moon. And then there are some females in the astronaut program because I want the first man and the first woman on the moon to be from Purdue.
There you go.
So again, with all the companies, with SpaceX and all those companies that are going in there, we're working on them on research projects because of all the research centers we have. So we're advancing that innovation, and a lot of it, besides, we're very much experts in propulsion and systems, but it's about the habitat. So we're creating some research centers where we're going to simulate the habitat of lunar and other space systems so that people learn how to live and educate and work while in space. So that's where the innovation is coming with the, more of a human factors perspective. So our School of Industrial Engineering has a big human factors division. They're involved in the space habitat
that makes a lot
experience
of sense.
as well. Because, when we're going there, unlike when you're on in the military, you're on a ship for 6 months or a year, they're going to expect these people that, families are going to be going, and they're going to have to be able to live, work, and play in space. So we want to be ready for that as well. As long as, there's going to be all supportive industry. So what AJ Malsh is doing with that advancing manufacturing above 4.0 into that in-space manufacturing is just a fantastic opportunity for our students to partner with him.
Sure is.
And AJ Malsh is a world-class researcher in advancing manufacturing. We were so lucky to get him to come to Purdue 5 or 6 years ago.
I can't imagine it was a hard ask, honestly.
And just to piggyback off of what Jon was saying, Shirley Dyke has been doing just phenomenal work in her REF Institute around, what do habitats look like, right? And our colleagues in philosophy have been doing phenomenal work around the ethics, right? And the policy of science and space and what this means, and the need for what I've heard is a common theme here, and that is kind of establishing norms and, for behaviors in space, right? So, we, again, world-class researchers, Kathy Howell in the cislunar domain, Dan De Laurentiis and Mark Lewis in hypersonics. I mean, Barrett Caldwell doing work on how humans make decisions in high-pressure environments, i.e. in space missions, et cetera.
That's right.
So, I mean, Marshall Porterfield does work on, what it's like to live in deep space, right? So, I mean, again, at Purdue, I think we celebrate our past, we celebrate the legacy, but we also really are looking toward the future and what we need to do in cislunar, in LEO, on the moon, on Mars, et cetera.
And beyond. Speaking of beyond, as in beyond the moment that we're... very, very awkward segue. You mentioned a symposium of some kind, an upcoming symposium. Is that something you want to talk about?
We'd love to.
Okay,
the symposium actually really, I think, celebrates what we've all been talking about here today, and that is kind of the integration, the needed integration of private sector, government, academia, venture capitalists, right, in moving forward what should be U.S. and is U.S. space superiority. So the symposium is the brainchild of those of us at Purdue, along with Brigadier General Kristen Pansenhagen of Space Force, who is a Purdue alumnus. and a steering committee that consists of other Purdue alum from Lockheed Martin and other colleagues on campus. And what we aim to do is each year take a theme that is a priority issue for Space Force. So this year, the theme is around space debris.
Oh, that's
mitigating
a good one.
national security risks of space debris.
Yep.
And so you'll see if you go to, if you Google the Space Policy, Science, and Technology Symposium at Purdue, you will see the all-star lineup of speakers. But importantly, this symposium is output-driven, meaning that we produce from very rich conversations using an innovation science methodology produced by Joe Sinfield, a professor of engineering at Purdue. These rich conversations yield policy briefs and issue briefs that go to Brent Blevin's team on the Science, Space, and Technology Committee.
Wow.
So we are certainly interested in rich conversations, but at Purdue we are output driven, right? And we are very much interested in capturing, right, that information that can then be translated potentially into informing policy conversations. So I will say something else about the symposium.
Sure.
March 23rd through 25th on the West Lafayette campus. It is a wonderful time to be in West Lafayette and a wonderful time for anyone who would like to come to not only see the things that Jon and I have talked about today, but to interact with our students. The students are integral to everything that happens at that symposium. I'll give you an example. Last year, we had colleagues from RAND there. One of the students landed an internship at RAND. Right?
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Really wonderful opportunity and open to everyone.
That's wonderful.
Did you speak to who the speakers are this year from the companies?
I'd be happy to. So we've got, again, colleagues from Lockheed Martin, from Blue Origin, from Astroscale US, from Auburn University. Derek Tournier is coming back from his time at STA to spend some time with us at Purdue. He's now, of course, with Auburn. We hopefully, if all things are approved, will have Brigadier General Panzenhagen back, along with Major General Chris Povak. The research scientist lead for U.S. Space Force, Stacey Williams, will be with us, partnering with AFRL. I mean, really just a dynamic group and an all of university effort.
That sounds like a can't miss, honestly. That is a powerhouse lineup of speakers there. So that's quite
and those are all our partners at the university.
That's quite
so we work
amazing.
with all those companies and agencies already.
Boeing will be there. Holly Murphy, another Purdue alum, will be there. Travis Langster, formerly at DoD, will be there. Just a wonderful group of people.
That's quite incredible. I cannot lie. I want to make sure, did we miss anything that you all wanted to cover in this conversation? Was there something?
Yes.
And then there's one thing I want to talk about. The Kroc Institute of Tech Diplomacy at Purdue. It's a Washington, D.C. based think tank. And what their mission is that technology advances freedom. So we work with like-minded countries around the world to make sure there's diplomatic efforts in place so that technology advances freedom.
Excellent.
And that is going to go, again, we're raising that ceiling on our tech corridor to include space. So it's led by Keith Kroc, who is a phenomenal grad of Purdue. But it's an absolutely phenomenal organization.
Wonderful.
Headquartered out of D.C. and working with like-minded countries around the world to advance freedom through technology.
Wonderful. Yeah.
The Kroc Institute also has just been, as has our Purdue Applied Research Institute, phenomenal supporters of the symposium. So thanks again to all Purdue effort. Members of JAXA are going to be at the symposium. We hope members from the Australian consulate, German consulate as well. So, to further that point, I mean, Purdue really, West Lafayette, Indiana, March 23rd through 25th will be an opportunity to have a lot of in-depth discussions that we hope can lead to some productive outputs.
Oh, wonderful. Was there anything about the educational side of things that we wanted to drive home?
Yes. At Purdue, we believe very strongly that education happens at any point in life.
Yes.
And so while some people may prefer to learn in person on our residential campus, where we can offer, highly ranked programs in engineering of all sorts, including aeroastronautics, electro and industrial engineering, et cetera, as well as in so many of the science domains, planetary science, as well as many others. We also believe very strongly that learners are at every age, right? And that oftentimes really good learning happens online. And so at Purdue, we have a comprehensive portfolio that seeks to meet students where they are, right?
Wonderful, yeah.
So we will have students literally from all around the world at different phases of their careers, engaged in our undergraduate, master's programs, everything from AI, right, to different kinds of STEM areas that we at Purdue are known for and expert in. And so, wherever, and this very, very much includes our members of the military. So whether you're a Guardian or someone in the Air Force or someone in the Navy or someone in the Army, right, the Coast Guard, wherever you happen to be in the world, we at Purdue would love to journey with you. In addition to the residential and online programs that I mentioned, we also have a fully online doctorate in technology and doctorate in education, in engineering. And so absolutely, we are committed to meeting students where they are.
That's fantastic that you all offer that. And I as I said, I will probably be looking into that later when I get home. So that's really fantastic. So I'm excited to hear about that.
Good.
That's great. Well, I want to be sensitive to time, but I want to also make sure that you both get the last words. Any final thoughts that you want to leave people with, by all means?
Yeah. When you think Purdue, think innovation. And when you think national security and national defense, think Purdue.
Absolutely. Cutting edge research, right? That again spans the university ecosystem, engineering and science, absolutely, but also policy, ethics, political science, and beyond.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I was just really tickled that I got to speak to you. So this is so great. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much for your time and this opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you.
Absolutely.